Continue with previous video styles. I'm going to talk about beginner problems people have with overhead press. Gonna caveat this with a few things. One, I claim not to be an expert in this lift. I have absolutely no training in it, just self-taught. Secondly, I have the shoulder flexibility of an 80-year-old Civil War veteran, so this is going to look really ugly. But I'm not here to demonstrate form, just problems people have. Here's an example of a bad setup. First, I'm going to show you what it will look like without any notes, and then I'll show what's wrong with it. Alright, first things first. A lot of beginners do this maneuver where they just kind of grab the bar, yank it out of the rack, and put it onto their chest. They can get away with that because the weight is usually pretty light. You're looking at maybe a 65-pound press. If you start putting on a 45 on each side, it starts getting heavier. You start putting on more weight, you're really going to fuck something up if you do that. Secondly, this is way too high to start off with. I've got it actually even pretty reasonable right now, just at about middle chest line. You'll see some guys have it about neck or even eye line, so they can really start from the top and pull it down on themselves. Thirdly, when they rack it out, they've got their elbows pointing forward instead of backwards. And that's part of the problem of just having it up too high and pulling it out of the rack. And what this leads to is kind of a forward pressing motion rather than an overhead pressing motion. So, here's how we address it. Go to the J-hook here. Now I've got it about nipple line, maybe even a little lower than that. What you're going to do, I like to use a thumb lift grip. If you're not ready for that, whatever. But you're going to approach the bar, put your hands where you want it first. Get a good grip, and you're going to kind of rev your arms underneath of it. While you do that, you're going to step under the bar. A lot of beginners, for some reason, have an absolute aversion to doing any sort of squatting motion, getting a bar out of a rack. Come pressing, squats, whatever. They absolutely refuse to bend the knees to get out. But if you have it so low that you can bend your knees, you can get in a lot better position. That 1/8 squat is not going to kill your lift. Grab it, get under it, and step out. What I've done now is I've caught the bar on my chest as I'm stepping out. My arms aren't moving the weight at all. They're just kind of there to hold it in place. Ideally, you just hold it onto your body. And one of the things you want to focus on there is getting the bar as close to your body as possible. If you rack it onto your actual chest here, you're once again going to be fighting gravity the whole way. You're not in a straight line, and you're not as strong as possible. The closer you can get it to your collarbone and to your neck, the more strategic mechanical advantage you'll have. So you've got it at the right height, you've stepped up, you've racked, and by nature of that, your elbows are now pointing forward. Now, like I said, I have no flexibility, but I don't even need to get like the clean position where the elbows are straightly pointed out. But if you can at least get some sort of forward position, you can set yourself up a lot better for that press versus if your elbows are behind you like this. I'm not even going to demonstrate the actual press in its entirety just because it'll look horrible if I do it. But keep in mind these notes. You should have a lot better setup. You should be able to progress a lot faster than if you've been screwing it up the rest of the time.